Good day, all. This is Think About It Thursday, and I am just happy to be with you today. And I am going to speak to you from the topic of confession and correction. Our scripture for today is the 10th chapter of Ezra, verses 1 through 12. And Ezra was a scribe, a priest, and a scholar. He was a man of authority. And after the exiles, the Israelite exiles, returned from the Babylonian captivity, Ezra found out that the exiles had committed some pretty major sins. One in particular was that they had intermarried women who were not Israelites. This was a big deal. Back in Deuteronomy 7th chapter, I believe it was the 4th verse, God had warned the Israelites that if you marry outside of the Israelite culture, your children would stray away from God and would not serve me. So this was a huge deal. Once Ezra learned about this, Ezra was fit to be tied. He just threw himself down in the front of the temple and was in really, really dire straits. But then comes along a layman, a good friend of Ezra, and this lay person that Ezra knew back when they were in Babylonian exile, he stood up and saw that his friend was in trouble. And I don't know about you, but every now and then, sometimes you need somebody to step in and stand in the gap for you, which is what his friend did for him on this occasion. And when he stood up, he told the people, he said, "This is not the end. This is not a big deal. There is a life beyond this particular sin." By the way, his name was Shechaniah. Shechaniah was, as I said, a layperson. And he told the people that, well, what we have to do is make a covenant before God. And he himself couldn't do this, but his friend Ezra could. And so after a while, Ezra called the people back in and told them in 3 days, you're to meet him back in the temple. And if you didn't show up, your homes would be taken away from you. And basically you would be out in the street. So Ezra was going to be pretty tough on the people, but Shechaniah said no, I've got a suggestion. And he gave the suggestion of what to do in this situation. And this is what the lesson is trying to tell us, that even though we may commit sins, even a grave sin, there is a way out. God always leaves a way out. Sometimes it takes an intercessor sometimes to do this for us, as Shechaniah did. And even though he didn't intermarry himself, but his family did. So he was standing in the gap, not only for Ezra, but he was standing in the gap for his family. And so the lesson here is that a repentant heart is what Shechaniah was trying to tell the people. A repentant heart is what makes hope possible for a right relation with God. And such as the message that was with the Israelites, it is with us today. A repentant heart makes a right relation to God. So I want to leave with you this thought that in the Old Testament, the Israelites, they messed up many times. They rebelled against God, and each time God restored them. And we can be restored too after any sins that we have committed. All we have to have is a repentant heart. And the reason why God does this is because of his son, Jesus Christ. So God's mercy provided hope for the Israelites and restored them, and God's hope will also restore us. So as we leave today, just remember, there is hope in a repentant hearted person. So be repentant, stand up, and God will forgive. God bless you.